Hey guys, it's Melanie here. I can't even. Okay, so I really thought my next post vlog thing was going to be more about the actual substance of cockygate, but I just found something and I really need to talk about it. Put those thoughts on hold. I am going to do, I think, a more full-featured, video about cockygate now that I kind of understand it better and exactly what's going on with it. But for now, what I want to talk about is something much more important. Guys, we've crushed the balls of our men. We need to give men their balls back. Might want to uncrush them first. That's not specified here. What I'm looking at here is a blog post from Faleena Hopkins back from 2015. A few people have said, oh, it's from 2015, it's from ages ago. That was 3 years ago, you guys. It's not that long. Honestly, the last 3 years have passed 3 minutes, and I feel like that's a pretty common sense of, maybe it's just because I hang out with writers who all have ADD and we all have really bad time dilation, so everything feels like either 3 minutes or 3 decades. But the point is, it really was not that old. It wasn't that long ago. And it's still public. It's out there. So for that reason, I feel pretty comfortable responding to it. You may recognize the author, Faleena Hopkins, as being someone who recently filed for a little trademark that we've been discussing a little bit. But that's not what this is about, okay? This is about an important issue of our men and their balls. So this article, again, is called Give Men Their Balls Back. And as you may have already guessed, it's pretty standard, reactionary, anti-third wave feminism stuff. I see this kind of thing all the time, this idea that we have feminized men. And it's one of those arguments that it's hard to even talk about without, unpacking so much behind it, because we all know what the sort of cultural ideals of feminine and masculine are, but these kinds of think pieces, if that's even a genre, these hot takes that people will write sometimes, they presume that there is a validity to those ideals of masculinity, femininity. They're presuming something that isn't, that you can't just you know what I mean, guys? Question authority. What am I even saying? Oh my god. What I'm saying is, there are these cultural ideals, and we cannot just accept them as valid and factual and without fault, without even questioning it. But that's what these think pieces tend to do. In any case, if this was just yet another one of those oh, men are becoming more feminine because they talk about their feelings. Oh my god, it's so terrible. Men, feelings? It wouldn't even really be worth talking about, but this one's a particularly interesting one, I think. So first of all, there's the evocative language. She's literally saying we've crushed the balls of our men. And that is very evocative. So she says, before she published the article, she showed it to some male friends for feedback. One was a lawyer. Interesting. One was a movie producer, and one was a film director. All three, handsome, intelligent, successful, good men. They literally repeated thank you over and over again as they read. I really like to imagine her sitting there, staring at them while they read it, in The Disaster Artist, when Greg is sitting there having to, read the script to the room, and Tommy Wiseau is, staring at him, and the whole time, the guys are literally going, yes, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, literally as they read. Just picture that. It's great. So she says, we want a man to be a man, but what we have now is a nation full of men who are confused. Here's what turns us on. We want a man who is a man. Bears repeating. Does it? We want him more powerful than us. We want him to take charge. We want him to make us feel like he's got the situation under control, so we can sit back and know we're in good hands. Safe. That's in all caps. We want a man who loves us, but who still throws us up against the wall to tuck his fingers under our skirt as he kisses us with a hunger so passionate it makes our knees jello. Jello is not capitalized. Jello is a registered trademark Faleena. You better be careful with that. We know how seriously you take trademarks. So we want a man who tosses us on the bed and then climbs on it like a tiger, on all fours coming to get us. We want the old saying, treat me like a lady in public and a whore in the bedroom, etc., etc. So this is all standard stuff, and she's presuming that all women want the same thing, which patently not true. That's what makes some of these like hot takes so insidious, is that they mix truth with semi-truth with just like assumptions and things that straight up aren't true at all. So this idea that all women want the same thing, obviously not true. There is some truth to the idea that women want strong men, because anyone who is like mentally healthy isn't even the right term, because God knows I'm not mentally healthy. I don't want to throw that term around like it's a catch-all term for being in a good place in your life. But, anyone who wants a healthy relationship has figured out that the way to get that is by having a strong, self-confident partner who can, like, figure things out. Nobody wants to be with someone who is insecure, doesn't have things in control, can't figure their shit out. Like, that's an obvious, it should be an obvious, like, thing. Unless you are wanting someone that you can manipulate, no one wants a partner. Like, it's so off-putting to have a partner that needs constant reassurance. And again, as a mentally ill person myself who struggles with depression and things like that, I don't want to make it sound like, oh, people with mental illness are unlovable because we need so much reassurance and so much support and help. That's not what I'm trying to say. But you know what I mean. In order to be in like a healthy relationship, you have to be able to support yourself to some extent emotionally. You have to be able to deal with things and figure things out on your own. And that's all she's describing, really. She's putting it in all this gendered language, but really all she's describing is just a person who has their shit together. Has nothing to do with masculinity. It honestly doesn't. Now, excuse me, the whole take charge thing, yeah, some women are into that. A lot of women are into that. But let's not confuse that with what she's about to confuse it with. So she's repeating again and again. We did this to us. We did it. We want to be treated equally. I like voting. How about you? I like voting. It sounds like a cheer. Okay, we are equal. Okay, here she falls back on that. We are equal but different. Where have I heard that before? Separate but equal sounds so familiar, and yet I can't quite grasp it. Look, it's slight hyperbole, but honestly, we have to be really careful about this. We cannot be willy-nilly throwing this idea around that the fundamental differences between men and women are like so baked into biology that our brains are like incapable of doing certain things. It's this idea that like it's like a double layered thing. Like I saw something recently, a post on Reddit where someone was like, look, women are just better at raising children. Men are just better at going out and having a career. Let's just accept it. And yeah, that's reprehensible, but like why? Like, can we talk about specifically why? Well, because there's two wrong-headed assumptions built into that. One is that men are inherently worse at raising children, and not simply that many men aren't trained to raise children from a very young age. The second is that there aren't careers where like soft skills and emotional intelligence, which is kind of what people associate with being good at raising children, that there aren't careers where those things are extremely valuable. There's tons of careers that specifically need those skills. So when I talk about, like, there's 2 levels of wrongheadedness to a lot of this stuff. And, yeah, she says, you know, our neural pathways are different. That's arguable. And also, like, there's the nature versus nurture thing of, like, people's neural pathways can change, even in adulthood. So you can retrain yourself to be different. This isn't like a biological imperative, but, you know, so anyway, this is all still fairly standard stuff. And she also says something that I don't think she's actually wrong about this. She says that the reason why men classically leave their partners for a younger woman is not for their hot bodies. Well, okay, I think there's 2 issues here. One is there is, like, a fetishization in our culture of youth and fertility, and that's definitely an attractive thing. But a big part of it is, she says, those girls make them feel needed. That's true, because they are immature oftentimes, or less mature than a partner might be who has been, you know, raising a family and running a home with them for years. It's not a fair comparison, basically. So what she is positing is that we need to treat our men like heroes. We basically need to treat our men like he is him, but like we are some, like, 20-year-old dewy-eyed ingenue who doesn't know how to do anything. Okay. So then she goes on to list this, like, it's just a list. She lists a list. She lists this list of things that we can do. Okay, let me get this right. We can empower ourselves and our men. We can have what we really want. What can we do? Are you ready for the answer? It's not going to be easy, which says a lot. I don't know what that means. We can stop correcting them. Okay, straight up, if my partner, like, is doing something wrong and it, like, is something that matters, I'm gonna say something. Like, I'm not gonna not correct. Like, do I need to not tell him if he accidentally, like, put a shirt on inside out? Or do I need to not, like... I don't understand. Like, this is too broad. Like, yeah, some people are really nitpicky and really, like, overbearing. But she doesn't say... She doesn't say that. She just says straight up, stop correcting them. Like, just let them fail, I guess. Like, even if you have the ability to very simply and easily, like, help them out. No. Stop correcting them. Stop telling them what to do. Again, this is really broad. Does that mean I can't, like, give any, like, feedback? Like, I don't know. I don't know what this means. And then things get... She's going back and forth between things that are way too broad and then really, really specific. We can wink at them when they do something we like. Winks are flirty. Yeah, and I know what a wink is. We can ask them for their opinion and really listen to the answer like it's a gift, because everyone's time and consideration is. Okay, I'm sorry. Opinions are not a gift. There's a reason why that saying, opinions are like assholes, exists. Like, yeah, you should love and cherish the one you're with, but sometimes they will go on and on about things that, like, you don't really care about, and you love them, so you listen to them. But she's acting like we have to sort of sit there and, like, oh my god, that's such a beautiful gift that you've given me. Your opinion about this latest, you know, trade in your you know, favorite hockey team. Like, oh my god. And I'm even falling to a heteronormative trap by heteronormative. I can speak. By assuming that that's what he's going to be giving an opinion about. Maybe he's giving his opinion about, you know, a new kind of quilting technique. I don't know. You know, I don't know what he's into. Whatever. This isn't bad advice, like, but it seems very contrived. Like, it's like, hey, why don't you tell me your opinion about this? wow, what a gift. It's a little overblown. Like, you can have just a normal conversation like human beings, right? We can say nice things about them to our friends. Yeah, of course. That's naturally going to happen. Yes and no. Like, okay, so we do, as human nature, it's kind of a problem. We overly focus on the negative. This isn't bad advice, again. Just, yeah, focus on the positive sometimes when you're talking about your relationship. That's fine. It helps you be more positive. We can never, all caps, roll our eyes about them with our friends, our family, their family, or anyone ever. So you can't, like, ever, like, criticize your partner to a friend. Like, realistically, come on. Come on. What about your therapist? Can you roll your eyes with your therapist? I know, I don't know that I've ever literally rolled my eyes, like, in real life. Like, I get that it's a gesture that has, like, a set meaning, but I don't know that I've ever sat there and actually done this. Whatever. I guess it's this mixture of, like, half truth and half, like, overdone, like, nonsense. We can say nice things about them in front of other people, especially when they're listening. Yeah, sure, do that. We can keep doing these things, even when the effect isn't immediate. Wait, are we doing these things because, like, they're things you should be doing, or because we were, like, a specific... Because I've honestly never thought about it this way before, but I've seen these kinds of, you know, hot takes, and they are kind of like the female equivalent of, like, the men who treat a woman a certain way and then expect sex, and then they're like, oh, she's friend-zoning me if it doesn't work out. This is a little bit the female equivalent of that, right? It's like we want our men to act a certain way, and so we have to try and get them to act that way. And we're going to do it. We're going to accomplish it by doing X, Y, and Z. And these are all things that pretty much you should be doing anyway in a relationship for the most part, like, to an extent. Again, some of them are overblown, like this idea that you're never going to criticize your partner to your friends. Like, of course, those conversations are going to happen. But yeah, like, be positive and thank them and talk to them like their opinion matters. That's all things you should be doing. And it shouldn't be because you want something in return. You're, like, banging on the vending machine trying to get your man's balls back by not rolling your eyes. Like, that's just... Okay. So, again, she's vacillating back and forth between, like, really, really broad, overly broad things that she's not specifying, like, never ever criticize him, which, I'm sorry, that's just not... No. It's not realistic that two people are going to share a life together and they never criticize each other, never correct each other. It just doesn't... You can't live like that. That's not realistic. Even in a relationship where one person is the superior, like, you still need to be able to have the freedom to speak to them in such a way that you can correct them when they are wrong, and you do it in a respectful way. Like, but you still have to do it. Like, even you might have to correct your boss sometimes at work. You might have to criticize something, critique something that they do, and there's respectful ways to do it, and ways to do it where you keep your role in mind. But again, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about an equal partnership. Okay? You shouldn't have to treat your partner like a dictator. I know. It's a crazy hot take. Anywho, yeah, so we can do these things without looking to see if they know how wonderful we are for trying. Yeah, obviously. Again, this falls back on the whole thing where it's like, don't do this because you want something in return. We can walk by them and whisper something sexy in their ear. We can tell them they look sexy. Positive sex. She really is, the word sexy is heavily featured in this. We can get rid of the TV in the bedroom and spend more time doing other things, like talking and listening, and va-va-voom. Va-va-voom. Oh boy. You're a romance author. You can come up with a better euphemism than va-va-voom. By the way, I don't have a TV in my bedroom, so... Winning! We can encourage them to go out with their friends. Men need men just like women need women. Okay, hold up. Hold up. I don't even know where to start with this. What if his friends are women? That's okay. I know some people are, like, weird about it, but, like, this whole idea, he's got to go get, like, this male bonding time, like, Jesus Christ. Yeah, it's great. It's ideal, but, you know, it's... there's so much going on here that feels silly to try and unpack in the context of, like, this blog post, but it's just, the mindset is problematic, that there's this one specific way that things are, and this is how it needs to be. Men need men just like women need women. Where do I even start? Yeah. But we can caress the inside of their palms with our thumb when we're holding hands and smile up at them like they hang the moon. Fake it until you make it. See, that might betray more than she realizes. Because if you don't honestly respect your partner and you aren't honestly wowed by them, it is going to be obvious. That's going to come through in the way that you treat them. So this idea of, like, fake it till you make it, like, yes, to an extent, yes. But also, if you don't feel any of those feelings for them, that in itself is the problem. And it's kind of disturbing to be so blasé about this idea that you really don't feel any respect for your partner, and you're just pretending because you know that's how you're supposed to feel. And also that specific, like, caressing the palm with the finger. Some people really hate that, by the way, which is kind of a microcosm of this whole article. Like, not everyone's the same. Not everyone likes the same thing. Some people really hate when you, like, you know, wiggle your finger against their palm. We can look at them like they're the sexiest man on the planet when they're flipping burgers on the barbecue. What is it, the 50s? Like, yeah, I can grill things myself. Like, I know that she's not saying women can't grill, but it's this whole thing. She just keeps falling back on these, like, tired stereotypes, and it's tiring. We can praise when they fix something around the house. Again, I fix things around the house myself. I don't need to wait for someone to do it. We can let them pick the restaurant and not ask for directions, even if it takes longer to get to where we're going. Who cares? What's the hurry? This is one of the more puzzling ones, like, okay, I have to try and parse this. We can let them pick the restaurant, sure. I actually have no problem with that. When I say I don't know where I want to eat, I genuinely don't, and I'm sorry, it really is, like, it's so humid in here. It's so humid, you guys. I genuinely don't care. When I say I don't care where we go eat, I genuinely don't care. I can see the sweat gathering between my eyebrows. I have to do this. Okay. Still committed to that one take filming. I genuinely don't care. I don't care if he picks a restaurant. I don't care. Yes, pick the restaurant. It's fine. It's fine. I know that, like, the responsibility of choosing the restaurant kind of sucks. That's why I don't want to do it, because if we go and then the restaurant sucks, I feel responsible for it because I have mental illness and I have anxiety problems. Just pick the damn restaurant. I don't care. That's where I'm at with it. But I'm getting sidetracked. So we can let him pick the restaurant and not ask for directions, even if it takes longer to get to where we're going. So we going to the restaurant? Is that what's happening here? And not ask for directions? Like, I know this is, like, at best, like, 90s stand-up comedian stuff. This idea of, like, oh, men don't ask for directions. Is that even, like, a thing? Are we still making that joke? Is that a thing anymore? I honestly don't. Everyone has Google Maps, Faleena. Everyone has GPS now, and they use it if they don't know how to get somewhere. It's not even, who do you even ask for directions anymore? That's not even it. You go to a gas station, no one knows how to get anywhere anymore, because we all have Google Maps. Like, it's not a thing. It's not a thing. And like, takes longer to get there. Who cares? What's the hurry? Well, maybe there is, like, a deadline, but there's a time you're supposed to be somewhere. Like, what if you're going to see a movie or to someone's surprise birthday party and you have to get there before they get there? Like, there are situations where it matters. And that's why we all use, I don't want to make it sound like I'm endorsed by Google Maps, Waze. is another one. I don't personally like it because I don't like it when it constantly is yelling at me like, oh, there's an obstruction but it's side of the road. Yeah, I can see it. Thanks. Again with like the 90s like sitcom stand-up stuff, we can go to our girlfriends for the question, do I look fat in this? It's not hot. It's a trap. Cut it out. Okay, couple things. Does anyone do that in real life? I've never done that. I can see in a mirror. I know if I look fat in something, and I probably do because I am fat. Not a question that I'm going to ask anyone. She also uses the colloquialism of girlfriend as like all one word to refer to presumably a female friend. I don't know. Maybe she's talking about someone in a polyamorous relationship with, several partners. I doubt it. We can go to our girlfriends again for the things he doesn't get. It takes a village to raise a person, and one human being can't be all things. Okay, this isn't wrong. Relationships where people rely too heavily on their partner and they don't rely on their friends don't tend to go well. It's too much pressure to put on one person. It's just the wording is just kind of nauseating. It takes a village to raise a person. You don't raise a person, you raise a child. It's weird that she's applying that to grown-ass adults, but it's not wrong. And here's another example. This is one of those things, it's not wrong. She's going to say something, it's not wrong. The condescending tone is what makes it unpalatable. We can say in the middle of an argument, just so you know, we're disagreeing on this, but I still love you and want to hear what you have to say. And then in parentheses she puts, whoa, game changer. Like we haven't all heard of that technique, like stopping in a fight to like recalibrate and be like, I still love you and I care about you. Like, whoa, game changer. Like she invented this. Like, yeah, I think this is in every self-help book. Every therapist will tell you this. It's not that big of a deal. And then she goes right into, we can raise our arms above our heads during sex. They love this. It's a submissive position. It says, I'm all yours and you're in control. Believe me, they will take the control when it is given them. Okay, we just went from like, good, decent advice about a broad topic of arguments and fights into raise your arms above your heads during sex. Like, what? Like, okay. What does that have to do with anything? This is a whole, like, mishmash. Sure, raise your arms above your head during sex. See how it goes. I don't care. Like, this idea that it's gonna, like, flip a switch in your man, even though apparently you stole his balls and crushed them, and this is gonna suddenly make him take control because you, like, went like, woo, like you're on a roller coaster. I don't know, guys. I don't know about that. This list is in a random order, she says. Oh, no shit. But I bet you felt the truth in it. And could see how implementing some changes would give your man his balls back and give you a man you can respect. Inspire someone to be who you want them to be. These things, these will help you do just that. Inspire him. Things only change, comma, if we change. It's a nice comma splice. Why do I have to do all the changing? That's in quotation marks. I guess that's what I'm supposed to be saying in response to this. And that actually, interestingly enough, isn't a question I have asked one time in my response to this. Because now you have the answers, at least some of them. Others you'll find on your own. I have girlfriends who've made these adjustments to incredible results. We would have less divorce if we only knew how to love one another. If a lot of people love each other, the world will be a better place, as Tommy Wiseau once said. Women can and will be the heart of a relationship. It starts with us. They react, we inspire. Okay, there it is. There it is. Putting that emotional burden entirely on women. That if we don't do this, that's what she's implying. She is implying by saying we're the heart of the relationship. We would have less divorce if we knew how to love one another. She is putting it entirely on women. That if we do not inspire him to be the man we want, divorce is the next logical step. Divorce is our fault. That's what she's saying. Without saying it, that is what she's saying. Oh, and I missed something fantastic here. They react, we inspire. Less divorce, less cheating, less depression. Faleena, depression is a mental health issue. It's an illness. That's like saying less divorce, less cheating, less cancer. Less divorce, less cheating, less diabetes. That doesn't make any sense. Yes, healthy relationships help you be generally a healthier person, but that's not, depression isn't what you think it is. This is, okay, again, is this an old post? Yes. 2015. Mental illness was pretty well understood in the general populace at that point. Yeah, there's people that still don't get it, but generally speaking, we all know that mental illness is a thing that isn't a product of our circumstances, right? Yes, circumstances can make mental illness worse, but let's not just throw the term depression around like that. So the signature, XX, Faleena Hopkins. P.S. I opted not to branch into the subject of parenting sons. Thank God. For that topic, you might want to check out this wonderful article by Mom, A Case for Letting Boys Be Strong. Oh my God, okay. My vocal cords gave out at the thought of reading that article. So, that's all I got, you guys. I don't even know. I can't, you guys. I just can't. I'm gonna be back tomorrow, maybe with some real stuff, or maybe in a few days. I think I need some time to pull together a proper video summary of Cockygate, and also I need some time to throw my arms up over my head during sex and let my man pick the restaurant. I'm gonna see how that goes. I love you all very much. I'm gonna sign off before my carpal tunnel explodes, because I'm pretty sure that's a thing that can happen. Bye-bye.